Well, times are about to change. Daylight saving time, that is. Hi, and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. You know, with the time change comes the seasonal watering schedule changes, and we'll fill you in on what you should know about when and how to water your landscape. We'll also talk about saving the Daytona Beach Bandshell. We'll cover new lifeguard towers for your safety and get some insight about Daytona Rising. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. The iconic Daytona Beach Bandshell will get an emergency restoration grant of $350,000 from Volusia County's ECHO Fund to fix its leaking roof that city officials say has threatened to seriously damage the historic concert venue on the beach. At a recent meeting, the Volusia County Council approved the ECHO Historic Stabilization Grant. Volusia ECHO provides grant funds to finance, acquire, restore, construct, or improve facilities to be used for environmental, cultural, historic, and outdoor recreation purposes. Under ECHO rules, historic structures can qualify for emergency grants if they're in danger of deterioration. The ECHO program, generated by a grassroots initiative, resulted from a citizen-approved referendum passed in 2000. Historic stabilization grants are designed for antique structures that are in immediate danger, as was deemed the case with the Bandshell.
We are so pleased that we were able to get the ECHO grant. The money is going to be used for renovation of the Bandshell. We have to replace the roof. The roof has been leaking, and so the tiles are falling off, and it's started to leak under there. We just didn't know. We couldn't see it until inside the Bandshell, the walls, it started to leak through the ceiling. I mean, you can see that it's like cracking up there.
The water intrusion is threatening the integrity of the structure, which was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1998. The Bandshell opened in 1937. The construction project was part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's Works Project Administration program that put people back to work during the Great Depression. The weather's warming up, and just in time for the busy season, lifeguards on Volusia County beaches have new towers that will actually help improve safety. The county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue recently purchased 4 Surveyor lifeguard towers to supplement the division's existing wooden towers. The new towers are made of fiberglass and stainless steel, sustainable materials that require less maintenance and last longer than wood. Beach Safety Director Mark Swanson said the new towers will improve safety because lifeguards will have a better view of the water.
We have some new Surveyor lifeguard towers, and these towers are going to be used. 2 of them are actually going to be put inside parks, and the other 2 are going to be actually on the beach. They're actually on wheels, so the ones on the beach will be able to maneuver them and move the towers wherever we need to move. They're actually higher than the existing lifeguard towers now, which are about 10 feet. These will max out at about 14 foot high, so it puts the lifeguard at a higher level to where they can visualize the water better. So it brings the lifeguard outside of the elements, puts them inside out of the sun. If it's raining, gets them out of the rain. But we got 4 of them now, and we're going to be putting them down on the beach within the next couple weeks, and we'll see how they work out. But they have about a 25-year range to where they'll last for about 25 years. So in the long run, it's going to be a savings to the county and the taxpayer, because we focus a lot on prevention, and if we can get people out of those dangers before it happens, then that's a benefit to everybody.
The new towers are part of the service model adopted by the County Council in 2012. Swanson said the towers will be used on the busiest areas of the beach.
We have 4 of them right now. These are the only 4 that we have. We're looking to put 1 in New Smyrna, 1 in Daytona Beach Shores, 1 here at 515, which is our Sunsplash Park, and then probably 1 up in the core area of near Ocean Walk.
And if you or someone you know is interested in becoming a summer lifeguard, there is still time to apply. Tryouts will be held March 15th at the Ormond Beach YMCA, March 22nd at the DeLand and Ormond Beach YMCAs, and March 26th at Daytona State College. Applicants must be at least 17 years old and be able to swim 500 meters in under 10 minutes, swim 50 yards in under 30 seconds, and run a half-mile in under 3 minutes, 15 seconds. Candidates considered for hiring will undergo a background check, physical, and drug screening. Those who meet the requirements must attend training classes and complete a 40-hour first responder CPR course or provide proof of equivalence. Starting pay is $9.70 an hour with EMT certification and $9.37 an hour without certification. And there's a $500 bonus that will be given to new hires who work specified hours and days. For more information, you can visit volusia.org/beach, or you can call Beach Safety Ocean Rescue at 386-239-6414. You know the old saying, spring forward, fall back. It reminds us to turn our clocks ahead in the spring and back in the fall. This year, daylight saving time resumed March 9th. This also is the day when Volusia County's lawn watering schedule changes. Residents may water their lawns twice a week until standard time resumes in November.
You can water anytime except between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And the reason why that is between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., that's the hottest part of the day. So if you put water on the ground, typically it'll just evaporate and you won't get any use out of it. There's another caveat in that most irrigation systems are broken out into zones, and you're only allowed to irrigate 1 hour per zone or 3/4 of an inch per zone. And so there is a limit on that. You can't just irrigate for several hours on one zone. It's 1 hour per zone.
Now, people who live at odd-numbered addresses may water Wednesdays and Saturdays, and people at even-numbered addresses may water Thursdays and Sundays. Businesses may irrigate on Tuesdays and Fridays. Unincorporated residents who violate the water conservation ordinance may be fined up to $500. The time change also is a reminder to change smoke detector batteries. Smoke alarms can save lives if they're functioning properly, but studies show that most smoke alarms don't work because of missing, dead, or disconnected batteries. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 2/3 of home fire deaths occur in homes without a working smoke alarm.
Your smoke alarm, when it's working, is going to notify you of any problem with smoke or fire in your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's a great emergency notification tool that could save you and your family's life. Assistance can be made for the checking or the inspection or the replacement of batteries for those people that need assistance. All they need to do is contact Volusia County Fire Services for the unincorporated area, and we'll get somebody out there that'll be able to assist them with that. In addition, Volusia County Fire Services also offers a smoke alarm program that we make available to the people that need these devices, and we will actually assist with the installation of those devices. And they can access that information through volusia.org.
To learn more about water conservation and fire prevention, you can visit volusia.org.
Volusia County Chair Jason Davis. You know, American veterans deserve our deepest respect, and Volusia County is dedicated to helping our local veterans obtain the benefits they're entitled to. Our veteran service counselors have helped veterans receive more than $173 million in compensation and pension benefits each year, along with $1.3 billion in home loans. Volusia County has veteran service offices in DeLand, Orange City, Daytona Beach, and New Smyrna Beach. For more information, please call 386-740-5102 or visit volusia.org/veterans.
It's time to join correspondent Michelle Coates on the Business Beat for this story about Daytona Rising, a $400 million reimagining of Daytona International Speedway.
I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat. We're here at Daytona International Speedway to take a look at Daytona Rising. Daytona Rising is a $400 million reimagining of an American icon, Daytona International Speedway. Conducting a major special event in your venue in the middle of such a large-scale construction could be a challenge, but the Speedway had a plan in place for Speed Weeks 2014.
When we have to run the Daytona 500, it's all about race ready. And so we have to make sure that we clear out construction and get the property ready to handle fans. Whether it's the walkways, the entrances, making sure all the construction areas are fenced off and scrimmed. It's one of the unique challenges of building and operating a venue at the same time. In 2014, though, there's no changes to the seat manifest. In 2015, it'll be a little more challenging because we'll have some new seats available at the same time as old seats. So that'll be a whole nother challenge in 15. But right now for 14, I think we have a good plan. We got through the Rolex 24 very well. It was a good test. I think we've got a good plan in place. Hopefully our fans will be impressed by the construction. Again, I think it's going to blow them away in terms of the size and the stature. They've seen the creative, now they get to see the reality, and I think it's going to blow them away.
The project will completely transform the nearly mile-long grandstand into a brand new experience for fans, media, sponsors, drivers, and employees. Expected to be completed in early 2016, the redesign intends to deliver a street-to-seat fan experience. A modern 120-foot high grandstand will create a stadium-like atmosphere with 5 entrances, or injectors, that will lead fans to a series of escalators and elevators, transporting them to 3 different concourse levels. Each level features spacious social areas, each the size of a football field.
But it's really about taking stick and ball sports, and we see all these new football stadiums and basketball arenas, and kind of taking a hybrid approach with all the great things about motorsports and combining the two to create really the first and only motorsports stadium. At the end of the day, we're going to have 60 million pounds of concrete in the ground, over 40 million pounds of steel in the air. That's going to be over 40,000 individual pieces of steel. We have to plan for the curvature of the earth over a 9/10 mile long grandstand. That's 7 inches. This is truly a modern marvel when you think about what it takes. 2.5 years to build it. But at the end of the day, it's really this reimagining of this American icon. This speedway stands for so much in terms of the history of NASCAR. It's NASCAR's biggest event, and you think of the names that have won here. Petty and Earnhardt and Yarborough, Allison. The legends of the sport were made here in Daytona. We want to make sure the fans have that same great experience in the grandstands as they watch some of the best racing in NASCAR's schedule.
The new design isn't just for fans. Sponsors will have the opportunity to create brand immersion experiences at each of those 5 injectors along Daytona International Speedway Boulevard.
We're really excited that Toyota has come on board as our first founding partner and is going to take ownership of one of the injectors. And for them, they've been invested in the sport for over a decade, and they've really done a great job with their creative, being all in. We think they're going to be a great partner with us. A couple years ago, they were our pace car, and we had Mr. Toyota over here for that. So we're excited. We've got some great things planned with them. It's exciting. I think we're going to see some more corporate sponsors here in the near term, but right now Toyota was the first one in, and we're proud of that.
In addition, the Speedway will feature over 60 luxury suites with trackside viewing and a completely revamped hospitality experience. The project will more than double the number of restrooms and triple the current number of concession and merchandise points of sale.
Really important for us when we think about the business that we do. 60% of our crowd comes from outside the state of Florida. On average, they stay 5 nights a week. So the economic impact that Daytona generates is pretty substantial.
Locally, Daytona Rising is expected to create 6,300 jobs, $300 million in labor income, and over $80 million in tax revenue.
Of the $400 million, we're making sure a bunch of that is put to work here in Volusia County. I think for us, we're pretty proud of the fact that we're doing things special, we're doing it right, and it's having an impact in our community.
Race fans can follow the progress of Daytona Rising at www.daytonarising.com. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
Each year, about 12,000 women in the United States get cervical cancer. The Florida Department of Health in Volusia County encourages women to pay attention to their bodies and get proper checkups for breast and cervical cancer. Stephanie Strong has more information about women's health in this segment of Community Health Matters.
All women are at risk for cervical cancer. It occurs most often in women over age 30. Each year, approximately 12,000 women in the United States get cervical cancer.
Two things are important. One is that cervical cancer can be detected by regular pap smears, and if it's detected early, is often curable. The second thing is the importance of the new vaccine, the human papilloma virus vaccine, which is HPV, that can be given to youngsters, boys and girls, to prevent cervical cancer.
The human papilloma virus, or HPV, is the main cause of cervical cancer. HPV is a common virus that is passed from one person to another during sex. At least half of sexually active people will have HPV at some point in their lives, but few women will get cervical cancer. Cervical health is a topic that women should inform themselves about and should become aware of in order to live a long, healthy life.
At the health department here, we have a breast and cervical program which enables women who are above the age 50 but still below age 65 but cannot afford a pap smear or mammogram to be able to receive those services for free.
For information about the Florida Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, please visit www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can always log on to volusiahealth.com. Let's head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, with his guest, Katrina Locke with the Volusia County's Environmental Management Division.
Thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. The Volusia County Council has approved a new sustainability plan for county government. The plan identifies goals such as promoting a healthy economy, the environment, and of course the community. We have with us in the studio today Katrina Locke with the county's Environmental Management Division to explain more about what the sustainability plan is and what it means for county government. Katrina, thanks for being with us.
Dave, thank you. Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I haven't had you in the studio for quite some time.
I know. Just saying. Actually, this is the first time in the studio we've done radio interviews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you know, a lot of people probably have no idea what a sustainability plan is. Give us kind of a layman's description of what this is.
Well, this plan, the county's plan, basically provides us with goals, objectives, and implementable actions that we can utilize to move towards a sustainable goal. And our goal is to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And so the plan itself has different elements that we can use, kind of like a menu of elements that we can use. And the larger goals are, as you mentioned, you know, a healthy environment, healthy economy, transportation and community sort of design, waste reduction, which is reducing waste and recycling, conservation of water, conservation of energy, and healthy environment.
Yeah, so I guess all of these things fall into the broad category, if we could have simplifying, of doing good things for the environment.
Right, correct.
You know, we've talked in the past, Katrina, about the county's green initiatives, and I guess that the green initiatives sort of fit within the overall sustainability plan. What's the difference, or is there a difference?
No, it's all the same. Basically, in 2009, Volusia County Council adopted the Green Volusia program, and that program was created to look at our own practices, so within county government operations, to expand our green efforts within those operations, and then also to provide education to the public and sort of outreach elements to increase knowledge about sustainable practices within the community.
You know, we've said that the county council, the county government should be a leader, should set a standard, you know, do the right thing, set a good example. And I know the county has done a number of things that fall within this green category of saving resources and that sort of thing. Tell us some of the things that the county has done to benefit the environment, but also to save tax dollars.
Some of the things we've done within our own operations are within our facilities department, where we have looked at energy retrofits. So they've gone through some of the county buildings and done some energy retrofits, which have saved us
big money.
Yes, big money, since those energy retrofits were started to be implemented in 2011. And then the last time we looked at those figures, that was a saving of $222,477.
And I know that, for example, you know, again, looking at George Baker's area, the Fleet area, We've gone to a number of, you know, what you call hybrid vehicles, that sort of thing, which also cut down, you know, on the emissions and save dollars.
Correct. They've looked at the fleet that we operate within county operations and reduced our fuel usage. And so that has been a big saving as far as dollars go. And, you know, they continue to look at the fleet and continue to make adjustments as necessary.
You know, as the citizens go around Volusia County and they see those big Votran buses, a lot of those Votran buses are also hybrid vehicles. Cost more money, but in the long run, from what I'm told, you know, the maintenance savings will overcome the additional cost to purchase the vehicle.
Yes, that's another example of things that we've done within the community to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
You know, when we say greenhouse gases, Katrina, what exactly does that mean?
Well, from our perspective, there's a number of different gases that make up those greenhouse gas emissions, and the one that the biggest contributing factor is carbon dioxide, and that's from the combustion of fossil fuels. And so what we're looking at is ways to reduce those emissions, those carbon emissions, or those greenhouse gas emissions that we produce. And
you know, I'm not on the science side of life, but from what I read and hear, reducing those emissions, I think in some way saves the ozone, which is a problem across the world.
Those emissions do contribute to, you know, as you were saying, those greenhouse gas emissions do contribute to climate change.
Yeah, and I don't think that anyone, well, I guess, I think some people still are not convinced that we have climate change, but we really do have climate change in this world today, and we're seeing the effects of it in a number of different ways, at least I think.
Right, and that's one of the things that we're looking at is, as I mentioned to you, there are so many different components of the plan, and looking at them all in an interconnected way. But one of the biggest emissions factors come from our energy consumption. So that's one of the big things that we are looking at, is how we can reduce those greenhouse gas emissions through that energy use. So reduce the energy use.
You know, the county has made a pretty substantial effort in acquiring open space, green space, you know, through the Volusia Forever program, and I think the county now has preserved well over 30,000 acres, particularly in the center of the county, is open green space, you know, water recharge area, that sort of thing. Obviously, that's good for the environment, and I would think that within this overall catch-all of this sustainability plan, that must be a component or fit within this plan.
Right, and as you mentioned, we've got over 40,000 acres of managed lands for conservation and that public use, passive recreation use component. And so, you know, you've got the aquifer recharge component, which links to water conservation elements within the plan. You have an educational component also, which is part of those lands, in that we have education programs in which they connect the quality of life from those environmentally conserved lands back to the services that those lands provide.
And of course, you know, we know only too well across the state of Florida that as Florida continues to grow and we continue to consume this open space, obviously that squeezes the natural environment for a lot of the animals. And that's part of the reason why we would preserve this open space, I would think.
Right, and one of the nice things in Volusia County is the fact that, you know, this land, you can go from one end of the county to the other, and that land is interconnected.
You know, obviously, as we said earlier, Katrina, the county is trying to set a standard, do the right thing, set a good example, and so forth. But obviously, the county can't do it all by itself. You know, what sort of partners, or how do other agencies or even the citizens get involved in this?
Well, as you mentioned, you know, we have things that we're looking at in the sustainability plan that link to county government operations. So those are things that we can look at internally, but even then there are elements that we would look to partnerships with external groups to work and move forwards with those elements of the plan. But, you know, this is a community-wide component to this plan too, so that will require us reaching out to those community partners and working with them on different elements of this plan. There's also a big component of this is those community education components, so that community outreach at different events also, where we would partner with people. And in the a couple of years ago, well, last year and the year before, we did a couple of workshops, environmental sustainability workshops, where we partnered with one of the local universities, Stetson University, on that program. So we'd be looking at things like that that can benefit the community.
Yeah, you mentioned outreach and education. One of my observations is, and it's just me, but I think most people want to do the right thing, but a lot of people don't know how to get involved or don't know exactly what to do the right thing.
Right.
And I think that's where this educational component comes into this.
It is huge. It's huge. It's for some people, they're already made progress in reducing their energy in their homes or reducing water use, but they just want to take it that step further. And so one of the things that we did was to provide educational information on the Green Volusia website that provides resources, so other places that you can go to look for additional information, and also some tips on the different components that you can look at. So as I mentioned with the plan, we have that healthy environment, the transportation. So there's tips for each of those elements that help you in your home or in your business to become more sustainable.
So now that the plan has been approved, it hasn't been that long before you just went to the county council. What happens now? I mean, what are the next steps?
So what we'll be doing next is working with different divisions and departments within the county to identify an annual plan. So a plan that we'll take back to council for council approval, that will basically identify those next steps for the next year. And then in addition to that, within 6 months, we'll go back to council with an update on our progress every 6 months from then onwards as well.
So now that we've got people's interests peaked, how do people get more information about the plan, Katrina?
Well, as I mentioned, we have the Green Volusia website, so it's just greenvolusia.org, and the plan is actually on the home page, so it's right there, and they can click on that link and access the whole plan.
And maybe if there are civic groups out there, or maybe they'd like to get a presentation from you or one of your staff, are you available to do that?
Yes, we can certainly go out and talk to people about the plan and about sustainability and Green Volusia program in general.
Well, I know that, in conclusion, I know the county has saved major money through this, with a lot of people working together. As you mentioned, the facility staff, just the reduction in the utility bills from simple things like changing out light fixtures and changing the thermostats and that sort of thing. Have saved. I mean, the county pays a big power bill, and saving money like this is major money.
Right, automated building systems that we've utilized, and as I mentioned, it's that over $222,477 worth of savings since those retrofits were implemented in 2011,
Well, I want to thank you for sharing the information with us today. It's called the Sustainability Plan, just approved by the County Council. It's good stuff.
Great, thank you.
Our guest today is Katrina Locke. She's the Natural Resources Manager with the Volusia County Environmental Management Division. And with that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to call us at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. You can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. It's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.